Fred, so we found this old violin in Grandma's attic, right? That we've moved into. We found it. It says Stradivarius. It doesn't have a certificate though, but we think it's a Stradivarius. What do we do?
Keep in mind that hundreds of thousands of violins produced in German and French factories say Stradivarian sign.
Wow,
And
okay.
Bonarius and Amati.
Oh, but it might be an Amati or a Maggini, you're saying.
Or a Steiner.
And those are worth quite a bit of money, right?
They are, but again, those...
What are the next steps?
First, make an appointment with any dealer. I think first step would be nice to send photographs. Maybe 5 or 6 shots, and all you need is forget the neck.
Okay,
it just
forget
looks
the neck.
like a neck, right?
Right, okay.
So it's like do the body, front and back of the body, no angles, flat on shot.
Just like that.
And then the head.
The head, the scroll,
sides,
the side of the scroll. Okay, just like that.
Front, back, and sides. Again, flat as you can, no angle. With today's cameras, you could almost use any background as long as it's not a weird background.
Got it.
Just clean, in-focus shots.
I see.
Maybe a photograph of the inside.
The inside.
If you've got a label.
The label that says Stradivarius.
Well, they can say that.
So, you know, there's no certificate. I send in the photos and it's intriguing. And then I get a call from you saying, yeah, bring it in. We'll take a look. Now, my first instinct in this moment is to be a little bit excited because I'm thinking, oh, this is a real deal. I've struck gold. Would you tell the person, would you tell me what you think it is right there on the spot?
Yes.
But another dealer might think
I think that a good dealer is going to be nice and
good
say,
dealers.
Look, well, you go to dealers that have some track record that you respect. They're going to tell you just what they think right away. It's not going to be a mystery.
You've decided that you're not going to be playing on it, but then you want to sell it. What would that process be like? Let's say, for example, it's not a Stradivarius. Oh no, but it is something that could be worth
so you bring it in for evaluation.
Okay.
You get a receipt saying we're going to look at this for you. You get a phone call saying we looked at your violin. This is what we think it is. If you want to sell it, this is what we think it's going to take to put it into good playing order, because you can't just sell something that's been in Grandma's attic. It's got
because it's not the
strings.
shop that's buying it from you, it's another person. It goes into consignment, right?
Correct.
I see.
Or the shop might want to buy it from you. And then you're selling it as is to the shop. But if the shop thinks it's a very worthwhile instrument and you want to sell it through the shop, they'll take a commission, which is often 20%. That's a pretty standard commission rate. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the price range.
Are there other options like trading it in, for example? And how would that work?
Well, first the shop has to evaluate whether they want it or not.
Would you pay $70 for it?
Oh yeah, something like that. Sure, you're getting...
I made $1 profit, guys. Nice, $70, deal. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. But let's say you do want it.
Then we give you an idea of what the value of the instrument is on a retail basis.
Okay.
What somebody might actually pay for it as it sits.
Would it be wise for the person, let's say they weren't satisfied or they felt like they could get, you know, a second opinion to get a second opinion?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. So it's totally fine.
And also some dealers might immediately recognize what it is and others might not.
Let's not push our hopes down. It could still be a Stradivarius. It could be at least an Amati.
The chances are minuscule.
Like
we often ask somebody, what's the situation it's come from? You know, was your grandmother a professional musician?
She came from Venice. She was in the Baroque orchestra there, and that violin was passed down from her grandmother.
There's a better chance than if she said, the person comes in, well, I played it in elementary school. Nobody's going to give a kid a very, very expensive violin.
I still think that it would be great to set it up nicely, bring it to your local violin shop, and start practicing. Why would you even sell a family heirloom? Finding the motivation to practice has never been easier. Tonic is the practice community for musicians of all levels. So even if you've just picked up Grandma's violin and are on day one, Tonic is the place for you. Everyone's musical journey deserves to be celebrated, so join us in practicing together with the community. Download Tonic today. It's free, and I'll see you in the practice room. Have you ever come across these situations where somebody found something and it turned out to be something of considerable value?
Sure.
So what happens then if the person gets really excited, right?
Well, yeah, then you say, great, do you want to use it? Do you want us to sell it? We just tell them what we think. This is like the cheapest possible violin. Somebody came in a couple weeks ago with a Sartori bow that had seen better days and was missing its original ferrule, and somebody put a junky ferrule on it. And this is a bow that, when it was purchased by somebody in their family probably in the 1940s, it might have cost $40. And now it's $30,000.
30,000 from $40 to 30,000.
So keep in mind
the
that
dream. Something else that's been on my mind is that certain instruments that have been played by people. For example, you showed me this beautiful instrument by Aaron Roseanne. He owned it as well as his bow. Does that impact the value of it when someone has played it?
Yeah, it might be 20%, might be 50%, depends on who the player is.
If it's a famous player who owned it, and does it matter how long they owned it?
Oh yeah, sometimes a player just owns something because they had a lot of violins and somebody gave it to them and they used it a couple of times and put it away.
I see.
Or they used it occasionally, but sometimes they used it extensively on recordings. You see press photos of them holding the violin. There's a lot of things that go into celebrity-owned items.
Oh my gosh. So the fact that I own this instrument suddenly makes it become much more valuable than $69? Is that what you're saying?
No. So if you have a real piece of junk instrument, it's still a piece of junk. Okay,
Right.
That's the story.
Right.
But if you've got a good instrument, buy a desirable maker, buy a maker that is sought after as an instrument, it's going to be worth more money if it was celebrity associated.
Do you think I'm a celebrity?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you!
But regarding this, it will not affect the value.
You don't think so? No. Who out there is willing to pay $70 for this instrument? That will have increased its value by $1. Thanks so much, Fred. That's all the questions that I had. But if you guys have any other questions you'd like to ask Fred here, don't hesitate. Drop a line in the comments and maybe there's going to be a part 2. So thank you so much. If you haven't watched the other part where we're buying instruments, be sure to check that video out. But for now, this is all we have time for. So thank you so much and see you in the next video.